Now, I've been in business now for 30 years. I've been teaching now for 8 years, I want to say. I just got a job 8 years ago. I don't look at hair as a job. I don't look at what I do for PPIA as a job. It's a passion. It's what I love. You look at the chemical makeup of a diamond and a piece of coal, it's the same exact chemical makeup. What's the difference? Coal has been under pressure for a certain amount of time to become that diamond. So we give them an appropriate amount of pressure so they can become diamonds. So I like them because they're malleable. You can talk to them. You can teach them.
Welcome to the PPIA Impact Podcast, where real stories meet real success. We celebrate the transformative careers of entrepreneurs within the beauty industry. I'm your host, Hassan DeMarco. Together, we'll explore the journey of barbers, cosmetologists, makeup artists, and more who have defied the odds and achieved remarkable success. Get ready to experience the profound impact of their stories. Let's ignite your passion and unleash your potential here on the PPIA Impact Podcast. So hello, everyone. We are back. This is PA Professional Image Alliance, otherwise known as the PPIA Impact. I'm your host, Hassan DeMarco, and we have a very special guest with us today, Zina Johnson-Patrick.
Hello, everyone.
And listen, guys, we are in for a treat. Why? Because we have another founding member of this beautiful organization. We're going to learn so much about her career, so much about her business that she still runs, owns, and operated, but she's also a dual threat in education. And Zina, there's just so many things that we can really learn from your experience with this organization that we've come to know and love, PPIA.
Yep.
So Zina, right at this outset, would you mind just telling us who you are, where we can find you at?
I'm Zina Johnson-Patrick, owner-operator of Hair for You at 1606 South Street in Philadelphia. I'm also an educator at Achieve Academy, and I'm vice president of PA Professional Image Alliance. If it wasn't for them, I would have been shut down due to challenges from the pandemic and other things, but we have galvanized together to support each other and be afloat. And it's important to have a group of like-minded individuals together so you can grow together. And we're not the crabs in a barrel. We are the ones pulling each other out. And I love that about our organization.
Yeah, I love that too. I'm just getting to know some of you on a more intimate level, and man, it's just so many gems within this organization. To count you as one, as the vice president. You got a lot of titles here.
Yeah.
So how long in business again?
30 years in business. This year will be 31 years in business.
On South Street.
On South Street, yep.
Yeah. Oh, if you guys aren't from the Philadelphia area, like South Street it's just been a mecca for decades.
And it has been changing, constantly evolving. I started on the west side, which is west of Broad Street. Mm-hmm. The part that's really, everybody would say is jumping, is the east side, from front on up.
Oh yeah,
and now it's moving, it's migrating. Right now we are like another, west of the Avenue of the Arts is becoming great. So
yeah. I've been down there at least recently to a few different events, and it is nice. It's changed a lot. Mm-hmm. So you're in a great area. You've been in the industry for decades now.
Yeah,
that's been amazing. You're here in the organization, as I mentioned, vice president for PPIA. And what else is it that you do?
What don't I do?
I heard that you're in the education field too.
I'm a teacher. I teach at Achieve Academy. We teach students who are put out of the regular school district, and they come to us. So we are a reform school, more or less. We give them a chance, an opportunity, and true to what I teach, I'm teaching cosmetology and barbering. So it's important for them to know what it's about.
Yeah.
I don't want them to say, I'm going to school for hair because I see you dress nice and I see you have a lot of nice things. And first of all, I don't wear that stuff to school.
Okay.
Because I'm a teacher. I wear a uniform. I dress business casual. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't want them to think you're going to do hair and this is what you get. I put in a lot of hours to get this. Yeah. I put in a lot of time and I work hard.
I love the position that you're in. And I'll tell you why. You'll probably figure out where I'm going with it. But you're teaching youth, right?
Yep.
And we got all these different generations. I know I'm Generation X. I can't speak to other generations. I hope you know your tag. Mm-hmm. It's too many to keep up with now. But this industry, what we do in the hair industry is really all about building bridges, right? So you're like trying to fill the gap from one generation to the next.
Yep.
And you are on the front lines. You're in education. What ages are you teaching?
I teach high school.
High school. Mm-hmm. Oh, man. So that's a challenge. We're going to say some prayers for you.
Yes, please. No, middle school is a challenge. Yeah. I'd rather teach high school Any day, all day.
Okay.
Because although they buck back, and like I said, our kids are the kids that get put out the regular school district, but I look at them as diamonds. I said, you look at the chemical makeup of a diamond, a piece of coal, it's the same exact chemical makeup. What's the difference? Coal has been under pressure for a certain amount of time to become that diamond. So we give them the appropriate amount of pressure so they can become diamonds. So I like them because they're malleable. You can talk to them. You can teach them.
Yeah. So y'all hear that? She's going to be dropping gems today. We appreciate that. That's
we try.
Good. But that's, I mean, again, I mentioned that because we're in the front lines. We know that children today are dealing with a lot. Post-pandemic, it's just been so many changes. But right in our beauty industry, there are some really young, talented prospects, people who are passionate about this. They're like kind of like cutting their teeth in the industry, trying to figure it out. So we definitely want to talk to you more about that, about growth within our industry. What have you noticed about our industry when it comes to growth?
And it's crazy. It's just not post-pandemic. I look at the state of the youth today. They are so traumatized. Thank God we have a new mayor in office that the crime rate has dropped drastically since she's been in office. And I thank God for that. The killing has gone down a lot. So, I mean, these kids deal with this every day. The loss of their youth. I see them with RIP T-shirts and tattoos and stuff. And I'm like, how are you able to migrate through this? And they're very resilient. They turn back around. Well, this is what I'm going to do, Ms. Z. This is how I'm going to make my money. I'm going to charge for the edge. I said, you charge extra for the edges? They said, yes, it's $5 extra. I said, okay, I learned from them. Yeah. I said, they might not like me in the beginning when they come in, but they're going to love me and I'm going to love them because it's reciprocal. We learn from each other.
Yeah.
So they are teaching me as I am teaching them. So I teach them about how you can be professional, how you grow your business, and how you plan. It's important to plan. I'm always working. Like you said, I have a mother, I'm a teacher, I'm a daughter, I'm a helicopter parent. My mother is a 82-year-old, so I'm mothering my mother.
Yeah.
I have a business to run. I'm vice president of PA Professional Image Alliance. When our president, Ms. Ann, says, Zina, we need this done, I got to be on it. So I have to, it's about balance. And this is what I try to teach the millennials, which they are in return teaching me. Yeah. Value your time. Get your time out of it. Make your money and get your time. And I love it. We can all learn from each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that bridge metaphorically on one side, you know, there's our generation. We're a generation of people that probably will admit we probably work too hard. Too many hours for too little, right? But we built these beautiful relationships. We established businesses and it's just been so beneficial. But the younger generation coming up, like you said, they're charging $5 for edges. They get to the money, you know.
And that's not including your blow dry and curl. But see, this is why we come across as our organization. We learn from each other. So we're not the old grandmoms looking down over people. What are you doing over there? And you know, you shouldn't be doing this. Why you? No, we learning. Okay, this is what you do. This is how we have to do it. So we learn from them. We learn from each other.
Yeah, it's
important to learn from each other. If you can't learn from somebody else, then you're done.
Yeah, that's so true, and that's what I love about this organization. It's not a lot of talk. You know, we've had other members of the organization here, like Dom. We've talked with Ann. I mean, you guys aren't just talking about change or talking about impacting. You're doing it. You're like literally on the front line now. Like you're about to lead this interview and go right back to the students.
Back to the students.
Yes.
We have a day of service coming up. We want to make sure we give back. You know, we're not the top balance. You have some organizations that are top balance. They're heavy, top heavy, and you know, nobody else gets anything at the bottom. We try to distribute it throughout for everybody. We want everybody to eat. It's not just going to be one person that's eating. It's just not going to be the top that's growing. No, we want everybody to grow. When you have a strong base, then it lasts longer. So if you're something top heavy, it'll top of it. Anybody ever play Jenga, you know you want to take your pieces out carefully and place them. You put everything at the top, what happens? It topples over. So by us building a strong foundation, we have everybody growing and thriving that can build up better.
Yeah, that's evident. Yeah, and it comes from hard work, and it's definitely paid off. But you know what, Zina, let's back up for a little bit. You've now been in the industry how many years again?
30 years.
30 years. All right. So how did you get your start? You were just a child and in the house and you just wanted to be a hairstylist? Is that how it came about?
Well, it was so crazy. I went to Girls High Masterman. And people looked at me like the people who I graduated from. When you graduate from the Academy of Music with your white gowns and your red carnations. They tell you 99% of our students go on to higher education. We go on to college. Yeah, I went to college, but guess what?
Yeah.
In 1990, Temple went on strike.
Oh man.
So therefore, I'm poor. I was poor.
Yeah.
I grew up from the hood. You know, I don't work, I don't eat. No school, we got to figure out what's next. My aunt told me, come on, you want to meet my hairstylist. She took me to meet her hairstylist, Tracy Calhoun. I got a job as an assistant. I said, I'm just going to go and do this until I finish up with college. I was going to be a doctor.
Okay.
And when I did that, I ended up staying. I loved the field. I learned from a person who was great at what she did, and I took it and I ran with it.
Wow, listen, there might be some, I'm sure there's people listening in who aren't familiar with the Philadelphia high school system, but Girls High and Mastermen are like really
not
high
mastery, because they're like, not mastery, mastermen.
Mastermen. These were magnet schools. They were schools that were also geared to higher education, and they did very well in the state. Even though in the inner city, because a lot of times our inner city schools don't compare well sometimes with schools outside of the city, but these are two that held their own weight for decades.
I went to school with Dr. J's kids and Nelson Diaz's son. I went to school with Jill Scott. Me and Jill are really good friends. So a lot of my peers were great educated, really good kids. Like, you know, so then I said, I'm going to do hair. And I'm like, hair? Yeah. Yes. And I love it. And I'm able to touch and reach people. You know, we are in the process now of doing an apprenticeship program, so we can help people to get to that level where they're at, where they won't have to put as much in and still get a lot out. Like, you know, I paid, when I went to beauty school, I think I paid like $10,000. Oh, that was 30 years ago. Right now it's about $20,000. But if we can get them as an apprentice, they get to earn while they learn. So this is what the organization has done. We help bring the missing pieces together.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about the organization and that apprenticeship program. And for our listeners who are listening in, you could have a niece or a nephew, somebody who's just got a knack for hair. They're very talented. As Zina mentioned, when you go to barber school or cosmetology school, you can spend anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000 today. And listen, that's still a great return on your investment. You're getting into an industry where you'll easily earn six figures as a beautician or a cosmetologist or a barber. However, if you have someone who is passionate and they are motivated, they can come to the organization here with PPIA, and we can be put in touch with an apprenticeship or a sponsor, someone who will take you under their wing, bring you into the salon and barbershop where you can earn money while learning. And how much do they pay for that education?
Exactly. Earn while you learn.
Yep.
You know, it's priceless. This is nothing that you would see like anywhere else. You know, Miss Ann has dedicated so much time and so much energy into making sure this thing flew. And we're not just jumping out the plane with no parachutes. We're taking our time and making sure it's done right so that everybody will benefit on both ends of the field.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you guys at PPIA, you talk about give back, you guys are living it. And that's amazing. We thank you for that. We appreciate your sacrifice as vice president. Now, I want to go back to our conversation because as vice president, you do have a lot of roles. Wife, mother, vice president of PPIA. You are a small business owner. You still also actively do hair behind the chair too?
Definitely.
Yeah. And what am I missing?
I'll do hair until I die.
Yeah.
I said when they do my autopsy, they're going to cut me open, the big hair ball's going to come out. They're like, oh, yeah, she's a hairstylist. Yes, I am.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't do no crimes. They're going to know your DNA right away. She left some hair behind at the scene. All right. So how are you balancing all of these different roles? That's a lot of roles.
Well, I just have to know time management. Like, you know, while we were setting up, I was working while I never stopped working. And it's so crazy because I look at my phone, I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I see a text from Miss Ann, hey, we got to get these messages out.
You get those texts too from Ann, 5 a.m.?
Yes, 5 a.m. But I know it's my work schedule, so I have a rolling schedule.
Yeah.
So I can't say I work from 9 to 5. I work 24 hours a day. If I wake up, because I'm of a certain age, I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go to the bathroom. I look at my phone, I got a text message. Okay, you got to send these emails out. Well, I'm pretty sure I remember I've gotten emails at 3:35, 3:40 in the morning because that's when I woke up for a bathroom break.
Yeah.
So I send it out as I go. So my schedule is rolling. I don't stick to one schedule in particular. Like I said, when I got here, I had some time when we were setting up. I was working.
Yeah.
I'm constantly working. I try to make good use of my time. It's important as a business owner, hairstylist, a teacher, vice president of an organization to always work.
Yeah.
I got to always work. And it's okay. It's rewarding. You know, it's the fruits of my labor. They come through.
Yeah, and it's paying off. So time management is something I'm sure that's huge, you know, for you to be as effective as you are. And that's great because like our listeners know, there are people right now, I call it in the trenches. We're still actively working. I still actively do hair every day, pretty much. So they're in the trenches right now trying to figure out if it gets easier or how they can like get it all done. But the truth is, it may maybe get a little easier, but the truth is that we do have to do better with time management. We have to be disciplined.
Yep.
And those are some of the principles that really help us as small business owners who have all of these roles and these different hats to wear. Yeah, so
One thing I learned is so crazy because I've had my business now. I've been in business now for 30 years. I've been teaching now for 8 years, I want to say. I just got a job 8 years ago. I don't look at hair as a job. I don't look at what I do for PPIA as a job. It's a passion. It's what I love. Anything that revolves around hair, and although teaching revolves around hair, I still have to have lesson plans. It's a certain thing that I have to follow. They said, my boss had we have team meetings at the end of the day. He said, if y'all need PTO, I said, hand raised, excuse me, what is that?
What is PTO?
Paid time off. As a hairstylist, I never had it. So I said, I got a job and get paid time off now. Isn't that wonderful? What I try to do is I try to bring everything I'm learning from my job into the organization to help with the stylists, to help us with our businesses. It will be wonderful if we can get to a point as hair salon owners to give our employees PTO. I don't want that to be the first time I want a hairstylists to hear about PTO. What is PTO?
Yeah.
Well, we want to be able to work it out. You know, this is what we taking all these classes for. We're in class after class. We talk to other professionals and we bring it in. You know, and it's so crazy because something I heard was really rang with me when they said that McDonald's was not in the restaurant business. They were in the real estate business. And I thought that was interesting. So I built my business model off of McDonald's. I said, why McDonald's? Because you can go to McDonald's in any country, any place you want to go to, you're going to have them same fries. The meat might be different based on whether or not it's sacred to slaughter a cow or whatever, but it's the same business model. So we try to build that business ethic into everything we do, including with PPIA. If you give consistency, constantly give good service, and educate yourself, then you can take and package those fries and send them to any place that you want to make, and you have them same fries anywhere you go.
Yeah, that's so true. I'm always like pleasantly surprised to see the different resources that PPIA is providing for businesses. And it's true, a lot of times because, and this is not a knock to our industry, this industry is largely built with hustlers, right? You know, we're people that understood how to build a relationship with a skill and how to monetize it. And we do amazing work with that. The problem is that sometimes we get unbalanced. And it just gets to this hustle mentality. And yeah, we get into a space where we don't know what it is to work healthy, to have healthy work habits. And you know, healthy work habits are, I know you've done it, I've done it so many times. You're sick, you're under the weather, you don't feel good, but you still get up and go into work, right? Or you get those phone calls or those text messages, oh, I got a funeral to go to, or I got this job interview, and you've already taken 3 extra clients and you take a 4th today. And you know, that really isn't healthy, you know, and I think that's the nice thing about what you're doing, balancing these different roles, that you've allowed some of the healthy bits that maybe come from the corporate side to filter down into what you're doing there as a small business owner. Yeah, and that's really good. And I think maybe that's something we can do. We always talk about challenging our listeners. So maybe we can challenge our listeners with that thought. How is it that we can work more healthy or work smarter or do things
smarter, not harder,
smarter, not harder, do things that create more incentive for our staff, a more healthy environment for our employees. And we can start valuing our own personal health sometimes ahead of the client.
Yep.
Because in this industry, it's the opposite way around. We do everything client first. The customer's always right. And then, we're burnt out after a few short years in doing business.
I agree. So and like I said, it's important to have an organization. We can bounce ideas off of each other. So I look at our other team members. Hey, what's your business model? How do you do this? And we bring it into each other. So it's important to be able to sell retail. Retail is important. Mm-hmm. But we as Black salon owners, a lot of us do not sell retail.
True.
It's important to get your retail up because this is how, if you look at the other salons, 80% of their business is retail. They're not making money behind the chair. They're making money in retail. So we have to bring that, and we have upcoming classes on how to upscale your business with retail. That's important for us to know. If we don't know, like I used to be like, oh my God, when I first started doing hair, I got to charge them. And at the time was $25 and I got to sell them products. Yeah. I thought it was wrong. Mm-hmm. And that was years ago when I say $25. It was $25 if you came every week, you paid $20.
Yeah. And things have had to change.
Right. And then I can't sell in retail, but no. That is what you do. So as I've grown over the years, and this is what I try to tell people, learn from my mistakes. You can work smarter, not harder. Mm-hmm. Learn how to sell your retail. Tell your clients, this is what you need. I'm not saying just give them anything, sell them anything. Right. Show them what they need and how they do it. This is how you do it. And I learned, like I said, you learn from people that you are around that will help you to get to that next level. That's important.
Yeah, that's so true. I couldn't agree more that we definitely need to do better with that. And just structuring our businesses better, working smarter. If you're listening in, retail is something that every salon and something that every barbershop should be vested in. Mm-hmm. You should absolutely stand behind a product that you know and love and retail it. And no, it's not just a money grab, but don't you want your clients coming back with healthier skin, healthier hair? Mm-hmm. It'll ultimately make your job better.
Makes your job easier.
But it also builds the value and the service that you're providing. So that's something we need to do for sure. PPIA Impact listeners, they'll put that into play right away. Trust me.
Yes, they will.
Me. Let's switch gears a little bit. And I want to talk about something, go back to that bridge terminology that we talked about. On one side of the bridge are tenured business owners. For decades, we've been in business. We come from a different generation. And now you have newer barbers and stylists who have really come up in the social media era. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of so many of them. They've built thousands of followers and engagement online, and they're now converting that engagement online to being actual people in the chair, which is great. But I wanted to talk a little bit about client relationships. And what's your perspective on that today? How do you think the relationship between barbers, stylists, and their clients have changed?
It's important. We as seasoned stylists, we've been doing Aunt Chrissy and niece Gina and granddaughter Kim's hair for years. So we go to family cookouts when we can get from behind the chair. So we have a relationship and a rapport with all of our clients. And we tend to slight ourselves because of the fact that we have these relationships with our clients. But one thing I admire about the millennials, they're about their business. Business is business. It's important. Like I was every year buy my new appointment book. I look forward to getting a new appointment book, write the names in at the beginning of the year. You're so excited. It's a fresh, clean new book. So now I took a page out of their book. Mm-hmm. I have online booking. And it's seamless. Yeah. For years, I don't know why I didn't want to do it for years. Like I was like it was taboo to me. I didn't want all of my business in the database. For what? Why? I don't know why. I had nothing to hide. I've always been a person that was about their taxes and did what I had to do, but I didn't want it all in the stratosphere, in the cloud. But it's the best thing that I ever taken from the millennials. Yeah. So it helps me to keep back to what you were saying about our relationship. It gives me that more intimate time with my clients. So I can just spend more time with my clients because I have proper scheduling. I'm not penciling people in where just to pencil them in and they can see my schedule. Say, hey, I went online. I seen you had a spot available. I'm going to take it right here. So it's important to keep that relationship because like I said, people say, you don't have a boss, you have your own business. Yeah. I said, no, each and every person that sits in my chair is my boss.
There you go.
So they're our bosses. They were going to always be my bosses. Yeah. I answer to them. I have to be on time for them. I have to give them what I want to get back. So if I want to get paid properly, I have to do a good job at my job.
Because you could get hired or fired at any time,
At any
right?
time, yep.
You know, so we do. Yeah, that is a misconception. People are like, oh, you work for yourself.
No.
No, I don't. You know, I these patrons of my business ultimately hold the power.
I work for each and every last one of them.
Yeah. A P for me, like I'm not going to lie, I'll play devil's advocate a little bit. So on social media especially, you see a lot of times like the interactions between the barber and the client. And yeah, I know some of them are just pranks, but honestly, I think they play too much.
Okay.
You know, I don't like the casualness that is like really come to the fore with the business experience. I don't know if one video was a joke or not, but there was one woman that came to the shop and her son was like less than 10 years old, and the barber took liberty to cut his hair how he wanted to. And the mother was upset. I mean, he had long braids and he cut a significant amount of braids off to do this particular style. Just took liberty. Again, I don't want to say that every newer barber or newer stylist has a lack of professionalism or doesn't show respect for clients. But to be honest, there are some. And there are some unprofessional atmospheres that you find. You know, what's your thoughts on that? Do you think that we could do better when it comes to those client relationships? And if so, if we can do better, what's the benefit of doing that?
The most important thing is communication. Take your time. The client consultation is still a real thing. People think you don't do client consultations. The patch test is still a real thing. Establish norms. Understand, what does the client want? Mom, 10-year-old child, long hair. Do you just want to trim, or do you want something that you can maintain? I have an idea for you. I'm going to talk to you about it. I tell my clients, you're going to get tired of hearing me talk, but we will have a thorough understanding of each other. Yeah. You know, an inch is from the first time. If you look at your finger and my finger, this is an inch. Everybody's fingers right here is an inch. So our inches will be the same, but is it that what you need? Do you need an inch cut off? Do you need more? Let's talk about it. So it's important to have these discussions with your clients. You need to talk. You need to understand, have understanding of what they want. So if you just go in thinking you know everything, then, okay, I am the professional. And one thing I will tell people, this is in my opinion, but I do not have to wear this style. This is you wearing a hairstyle. You tell me what you want. You are not this person on this tablet. You're not this person online on Pinterest. This is not your face.
Right.
But this is how it will look on you. This is in my opinion. If you still want that hairstyle, then we can tailor something to you. So it's important to have that conversation and talk to your client. If you don't talk to your client, then you have nothing.
Yeah, that's great advice. Just good communication.
Communication is key.
Yeah, I think that is very important. Good communication. It goes a long way. And it's not even just about the service that we're doing. Even if we're going to be late or if something needs to be discussed, I think there's a tone that you need to say it in, a way that we need to do that.
Yeah.
Because we don't ever want to get it backwards. And what I mean is, this is a service industry, which we're in the business of rendering a needed service to the public. And I think sometimes we get, too big for ourselves, or we start to believe, that we maybe are better than we think. We start to minimize the client experience.
Exactly.
And I think that's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
You get into, that's a place that you really don't want to get into.
The next person that values that client's time is going to swoop right in and take that client away from you. So you have people that want to go to these salons. I'm going in because I get in and out. But what kind of service are you getting? And they don't care about the type of service they're getting. They just want to get in and out. But then they have to filter back to our businesses because we have taken care of their hair. We don't put relaxer in our conditioner. We taking the time to make sure our client's hair is done properly. So
that's
I would
thing.
never.
They do that?
Oh, they do it. It's scary.
That's
and
crazy.
You have to correct it.
So they put a little bit of conditioner and relaxer.
Relaxer and conditioner. So we have to bring it back. So it's important for us to keep our communication. And, we have to keep the lines of communication open. And like I said, it's hard sometimes, but this is why we have our monthly meetings. We talk about things like this. It gives us time to vent and say, hey, you have a client. No, let's talk about it. Email us in the agenda and we will talk about it. And it's important for us to know what is going on in everybody's head. So we try to keep everybody well balanced.
Yeah, I love that. That's professionalism right there. You set a nice standard and an expectation for our clients. And to me, that just speaks to client retention. If we are satisfying our clients to a certain standard, then our clients aren't going anywhere.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, listeners. It's not even just about how good you are. I think that's a misconception. A lot of people think because I'm this good, I charge this much money, or I'm this good, I have this many clients. I don't think the two really correlate. I think that what we really should be in the business of selling, especially in this era of doing hair, is we're selling service, experience, professionalism. Those are things that people will never walk away from. Those are things that will keep clients in your chair.
Yeah.
Those are things that will continue to help your revenue increase year after year. So that's so very important. So yeah,
it's very important.
Sounds like that's what you're on. That's what you're doing over
You
there.
have to, you don't stay in business for 30 years by not catering to your clients, by not selling the experience, by not valuing their opinion, by not listening to them. You have to listen to people, find out what it is, what's going on with you. It's not just about, okay, your hair is coming out. Why?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. Are you under stress? I have sent clients to the hospital, to doctors. Let's go to the doctor because something ain't right. They came, hey, my blood work showed that I have overactive thyroid. Oh, yes, I know. This comes with the industry, but doing that report and talking to them and asking those questions. So it's important.
Yeah, that's great. Keep it up. I mean, it's no surprise to us why you've been in business so long and how you're able to.
It's God first and foremost, and then everything else.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. We thank you for that. Thanks for sharing and again being here today. But I just want to switch gears one last time, and this is just a way for us to kind of pick your brain some. You're a resource. Again, congratulations to you. 30 years of business. Now you're 8 years in education. You're teaching the youth. You're still operating a business, providing a living, not just for your family, but other employees and staff. And then, of course, you've branched out to also helping many, many businesses in the Pennsylvania region that may not even know you personally. So your hard work has really paid off. But we want to just see if we could just kind of squeeze and get a little more information out of you. This question really is a question for motivation. Zina, you're no surprise to how it is. There's stylists who are listening in right now who have been in the industry, maybe 5-8 years, and they're having some challenges. It hasn't been easy. Perhaps someone is going through a divorce, or maybe someone is a single parent mother, or they've just had to fire a number of people from their salon because they're just not keeping up the standard that they expect. So they're going through a tough time. It's a challenge. They're trying to be these different things, an entrepreneur, a mother. What advice would you give them? How would you encourage them?
Everybody needs somebody. And this is why we have PA Professional Image Alliance. They're my somebody. You say, this is my person, they're my persons. And if you don't have that somebody, you get discouraged. You get to the point where I'm tired, I've been doing this, the clients are not here. But you talk to your peers and your other professionals in the industry, and they say, hey, I'm doing this, going through the same thing. Let's bring our minds together. How can we fix this? How can we change this? You need somebody. You can't do it by yourself. And I find that we as hair salon owners and barbershop owners, we're proud people. We don't know how to ask for help. We don't know how to say, hey, I can't do this. I need help. But this is where the curtain comes down. We are really transparent at PA Professional Image Alliance. We let you know you're not alone. Those challenges that you face, I faced them. I faced them before. I didn't know how I was going to get from one point to the next. But if no one says anything, then you will never know that you're not alone. So it's important for people to know that they're not alone. So you need somebody. Yeah. And this is, like I said, they're my people. These are my somebodies. So I look forward to our monthly meetings. It's important. Like I said, one person might have something on their mind that they can tell you, and I'm like, hey, that's a great idea. I can use that to get my business to the next level. Okay, I know this is a slow period. We're going to do that too. So you can't do this by yourself. Pandemic was bad, but for me, it was bad too, but it was great because I was able to meet a wonderful group of young ladies and men that brought us together, and we were able to come up with this organization. Had it not been for the pandemic, then we would not have been able to come together. And we have gotten millions of dollars in support for this. Like I said, it's just not top heavy for everybody. We make sure everybody is eating. We're not the organization that's going to take all the money and say, we're going to pay you $5 to do this. You get $5 and $10 stipends here. No, we make sure everybody is eating, everybody is well fed. It doesn't make a difference if I'm eating and you just getting the crumbs. No, we want everybody to have a meal, everybody to sit at the table. So PA Professional Images Alliance brings everybody to the table. We're going to all eat.
So what does someone need to do to become a part of the organization? Is there like a criteria they need to meet? Do they need to be in business 20 years to get into the organization, or what has to happen?
Well, no, if you want to be in business, like, how can you be in business without any help? We're trying to get you to the next level. Their licenses, insurance, everything else that you might need to know in business. This is what we try to help you get to. So we're for the young stylists, for the seasoned stylists. It doesn't make a difference. Come one, come all. Yeah. We're going to help you out. There's something that everybody can get out of this thing. So, we have a website, www.paprofessionalimagealliance.org. It's a button on there that says join here, right? You can join right now. And you'll be admitted to all of our education. We have rolling education all around, year round. So we have 12 months worth of material lined up from January. So we are constantly doing things around the year to keep people motivated and educated. And that's one thing that happens in our industry. If we do not have somebody constantly rolling things out, we get stagnant and we will be stand still, and we won't go to the next level. But when you got someone that is holding you accountable and say, hey, let's do this, it makes you a better stylist, a better business owner. How many of us have went, I don't know, for our listeners, how many have went to look forward to March, and we go to the big show in New York. Yeah. We come back in March, we got our new tools, our new equipment, we took our classes, and that lasts for a couple of months. Yep. And then
you out of gas
dissipates. Yes. So this is what we try to do at PA Professional Image Alliance. We try to we want March to be every month. We want us to keep going. We want to keep running on the fuel that we have provided. So it's important. Like I said, come together as a group. And it's no shame. It's like, no, you don't have to look a certain kind of way. You don't have to act a certain kind of way. We want you to know what we know. It doesn't make sense if we can't help each other. They say if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to change your room. Yeah. So I want to be in a room where I can learn from everybody. We can all learn together.
Yeah, so. I love that. That's good. That's great advice, actually. Everybody needs somebody. I think that's how you started this. Everybody needs somebody. So if you're listening in and you're doing these things and you're having some challenges, and hey, maybe you're doing great. You don't have to be struggling.
Share the wisdom.
Yeah, share the wisdom. Yep. So everybody needs somebody. And she's referring to monthly meetings that are held on Zoom. You don't have to come out of your house, right? So you can be a part of these meetings. 12 months of education is great. And perhaps you may even have some personal questions for Zina as far as business relates too. And you can find her at those meetings. And she's one of those many valuable resources that you'll find within the organization. So yeah, we really appreciate that. So some gems were dropped today. I'm always taking notes. I listen back and I write things down. I journal them.
Okay.
So some of the things that you mentioned that touched me were, number one, you wear a lot of hats, but you're able to do that because of your scheduling. You're very disciplined. And I do get up sometimes in the middle of the night. I don't know if I'm going to answer emails, but I might just start thinking about what I'm going to do for the next day. So that was really good. And then lastly, what you said, everyone needs someone.
Everyone needs somebody.
Yeah, we have to sometimes just humble ourselves and realize that you don't always have to reinvent the wheel.
Nope.
The wheel could be right there and someone could show you to it.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's great. And as always, I think it's a huge takeaway from your episode is also about the apprenticeship.
Yes.
Apprenticeship is something like, here's someone who's sitting with us, Zina Johnson-Patrick, who was on a career path to becoming a doctor. And she veered into this industry's lane, has been here for 30 years. I think that says something about our industry.
Yes.
And you were able to do that and create a beautiful career and life for yourself, to take care and sustain your family. And I think that speaks volumes about what this industry has to offer.
Hair has an amazing potential. A good friend of mine, she passed away about 10 years ago. She said that she made more money as an assistant at the hair salon. She bought cars, houses, and everything else than when she went to corporate.
There you go.
So it's money to be made. And like I said, now, if I would have had the tools then that I have now, that I got from PPIA, oh my goodness, I would be doing so much better now. And I thank God, I'm not complaining, But if I would have known and had the resources then that I have now, I could have been so much better. Like retirement, ways to make money when in your sleep. All this stuff is stuff that we have. Yeah, residual income. I didn't know about this, but I've learned over the years, but we have a lot of things going on. We have a women's conference coming up where we're going to be helping people, looking to some great speakers. It's important to, like I said, you're the smartest person in the room, change your room. Come to the women's conference. That's going to be a great room to be in because it'll be a lot of education there.
Yeah. And
you can learn from. Yep. Even if you're not in the hair industry, there are things that you can. I have my employees, they come to our conferences. They taking notes, diligently taking notes. Our customers, when are y'all going to have another one? They had a great time. One of my customers who came, she owns a daycare center. She said, "Oh my God, I had such a good time. I learned so much." So it's not, the women's conference is amazing. It's not just about hair. It's about empowering each other and getting to the next level.
Yeah. Well, that's what this is about. PPIA Impact Podcast is about helping people get to the next level.
Yep.
Truly impactful. So our impactful guest, Zina Patrick Johnson, thank you so much for all your hard work. Everything that you've done to support not only your family, not only your business, but the beauty industry as a whole in Pennsylvania.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so it's been a joy to have you, and we look forward to following your success.
I appreciate
and keeping up with you. So this is our latest edition of the PPIA Impact. We'd like to thank you guys for listening in. Stay tuned for other episodes up and coming.